Now, my colleague Kenneth Awachudako joins me via Zoom for more on this. Ken, so this is a story of Kamgbunli, but you visited other places in the Elembele district. Would you say this is widespread and that the patronage is reaching, is quite high, with a lot of children having access to this platform?
Indeed, the patronage is very, very high, because if you go to some of the communities and some spots in the area, you'd realize that children are gathered in their 10s and 15s and 5s around the nearest battery-powered radio set that they'll find, and they try as much as possible to get in onto the learning that's going on. And so you would find that every family that has a radio set ensures that all the children in the community come around anytime there is an educational session ongoing, and they all participate. And the thing is, they have very different times that they hold these educational sessions. One of them is at 10 a.m. in the morning, and so the children, all of them know, no matter the chore they are doing, when it's time for that particular activity, all of them move into the place, and then they have that session. And one interesting thing was that one of the kids whose interview was played some moments ago had his grandmother introduce him to this particular project. And so he was there, and the grandmother called him that there was this thing that she heard on the radio, and she told the child's father about it, and then that was when it all began. And so he has also introduced most of his friends to this initiative, and it's going great for them so far.
And so from that grandmother note, how are other parents and guardians in the district also responding to this platform, this opportunity to have their children study?
As we speak, it has become like a communal initiative. Everybody has bought into the project, and then no matter where any of the kids find themselves, there's always somebody to suggest that they have a radio set or this particular device through which they can access this facility. And so their colleagues ensure that they are there at the time that the session is about to be rolled out. And so it's something that they have all bought in, and the parents are very much involved in this. They ensure that their kids have the appropriate resources, because if you look at the district itself is called Kamgbunli, and it's a predominantly Muslim community, and all of them have a very reserved people, if you like. And so if we get to that particular time, they all converge together, and their parents call each other, and wherever their kids are, they call them as well to partake in this particular exercise. And so it's something that is very communal, and everybody has bought into it, and they ensure that everybody is present to have it, because they believe that with the inadequacies that they are encountering right now, one of them, which is the inaccessibility to smartphones and the internet, that's going to ensure that they partake in the e-learning activities that the government has rolled out. Because of those inadequacies, they ensure that, because they know that is the only way that they can partake in the national cake in terms of education and the development of the educational space in their community. And so they are very much interested in this project, and are very glad. And they also hope that it continues to the latter until at least when COVID-19 is over, Kojo.
And the kids are obviously excited about this. I mean, obviously, once they have the opportunity to gather some way, somehow, and meet their friends, you expect that they should be excited about this. But observing them, do you think that they are actually paying close attention to the lessons and they are following keenly?
So one of the issues that the district director of education raised had to do with the ability to assess whether or not the children were actually following the lessons through examinations, amongst others. These are issues that, the government is also grappling with. And so it's understandable that he has issues when it comes to the assessments as to how well the kids have assimilated whatever they have been taught. But aside that, I think they are all very interested. And one interesting thing, Kuja, I must add that the social distancing protocols are something that they are very, very much adhering to. You would think that as a rural community as that, it will be very difficult, and you would think that the message hasn't really gone down well with them. But while I was there for the 2 days that I was there, you'd see that every family or every group that had this particular interaction had a bucket, a Veronica bucket, I should say, with the WHO advised the protocols. They have their hand sanitizers, they have their napkins, amongst others, tissues and all of that, ensuring that no matter what happens, they are still ensuring that the social distancing protocols are adhered to while they try to access and also bridge this particular inequality gap in terms of education in their community.
And I saw a little girl there also with a face mask, and that is very encouraging. But tell me about the facilitators. How are they looking to take this forward, and what are the impressions of the program so far?
So could you, okay. So far, the feedback, according to, for example, Talo Ghana is saying that the feedback has been very, very impressive because for the, it was something that they were already doing, but it wasn't to this extent. They were having their own corporate social responsibility in that district because it's one of the catchment areas where they do their business, and so they were already doing something over there. But they chose to extend it because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that is what has given the initiative a lot of traction among the people in the community. And so the feedback, he says, that the social intervention manager told me from Talagana is that it has been something that has gained a lot of traction, especially within the past few weeks where the pandemic has hit the country very hard. And so one of the recommendations that they have had over the period is to try and broaden the number of studies, the number of courses actually that they enroll in this particular initiative. For instance, they are having 3 subjects being taught around this period, and so some of the parents and the chiefs and opinion leaders in the area are of the view that if it's extended to cover some of the other core subjects and also some of the elective subjects, it will be very great for the community. And now also it's also being run currently at the JHS level. And so they also are asking that if it was going to be extended, some of the primary schools, the primary level, should be considered and also help them also bridge that particular gap in terms of inequality in the area. And so basically the reaction, the feedback, I should say, has been great, and people want it extended to widen the scope of education in the area.
Ken, thank you very much for bringing us this story, and of course we'll be looking at the other areas who are also deprived and how they are catching up with their education as well.